Welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today we've got a fun one for you. Today we're going to be talking about Get Smart. Get Smart was made in 2008. It was directed by Peter Siegel, and it was written by Tom J. Assel and Matt Ember. Sorry, I just brain fart. Peter Siegel directed it and written by Tom J. Assel and Matt Ember. This film, essentially what happens is there's like this terrorist organization, and Agent Smart has to go on this mission to try to stop the terrorists. That's the whole movie right there. That was really it. And it's a spy movie kind of, but it's also kind of a romance. It's a romance spy comedy. I'm not gonna talk about this for very long because you guys can go watch this. I think this is on Netflix still. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about it for a little bit just because I'm trying to get through all the Steve Carell films. All right. Acting. Let's talk about acting first, and then we'll talk about directing and stuff. So Steve Carell as Max Smart. Now this character is like an analyst. He's not actually an agent, similar to like Jack Ryan, where Jack Ryan was an analyst in that show, and then he became an agent. But in that movie, that show, it's kind of badass. And this, it's not badass. It's more like, oh, I'm going to be an agent now. Like he wants to be an agent really bad, but they never allow him to be an agent. But then, he under some weird circumstances that you can see for yourself, he becomes an agent and is the lead on basically getting rid of this terrorist. Steve Carell was great in this film. He's funny. He's uncomfortable, and it's really fun to see him act as this person. I've researched a little bit about this because I had no idea what this film was about beforehand, and a lot of people didn't like this movie at all. I liked it quite a bit, and the reason that was, I think, was because it was late at night and I was tired when I was watching this movie, and it was funny. I mean, like, every twist and turn was hilarious to me, and a lot of that had to do not necessarily with just Steve Carell, because Steve Carell was great, but with Anne Hathaway as Agent 99. Anne Hathaway blew me away in this movie. I don't watch a lot of Anne Hathaway movies. I think I'm going to want to now because she was really good in this film. Hathaway and Carell have this back and forth that is so funny that I didn't think would be there. It's very natural feeling, and I had no idea it was going to be that natural. It felt so great to see them both on screen together, and that was really the lead into this film for me that I really enjoyed, was just watching these two play off each other. The rest of the film, after those two, is mainly an ensemble cast, but I will talk about Dwayne Johnson real quick as Agent 23. He's got a really cool character arc. It doesn't seem like he's going to in the beginning, but then towards the end, he has a really cool character arc. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I believe this film is on Netflix. I believe you can watch it yourself, and you're probably going to want to. But really, really solid performance by Dwayne Johnson. He was a lot younger in this, and he was funny. Dwayne Johnson, I think, is a better comedy actor than he is an action actor because his action movies are all the same, and that's a problem for me. I don't like it when everything's the same. And a lot of Dwayne Johnson movies recently are all the same. Like, if you watch Skyscraper and Rampage, like I think that some of the action scenes might have just been the same action scene. Which is why I think he's a really good comedy actor, because his comedy is always different, because he has different writers. But anyway, solid performance by Dwayne Johnson. Alan Arkin as the chief. He's the chief. He did a really good job. I don't want to talk about him too much because he wasn't there very much. Again, it was mostly driven by Carell and Hathaway. But he was there. I wanted to acknowledge that he did a really good job. This is a really short review as well. Good for me. I'm shortening them down. Some of them are long, and I will discuss that real quick. So some of them are very long because they're very deep and beefy and long. And a lot of like my show reviews are going to be pretty long because there's so much of it. And there's so much I want to talk about. But right now my schedule's kind of crazy because I have to film these and edit them in a relatively quick turnout because I have already watched like 20 Carell movies and all the MCU stuff. So I'm trying to catch up with what I'm doing now. Ideally, my videos will start to get around 15 minutes a piece each time consistently because I want to eventually start recording right after I finish. Like, I watched Get Smart like 3 weeks ago, and now I'm recording it. because I had not planned on making the YouTube channel at that point. Now that I know that I am, I have to make all these videos really quickly and get them out really quickly, so that way it catches up to where I am. That way, every time that I watch one, I can watch one, record, edit, and get it out. That way, it's way more relevant, it's recent, I know more about it, I remember more about it, because this film, as much as I liked it a lot, it's just like every other spy comedy. So it's not wicked original, but I don't watch a lot of spy comedies, so I only watch like 2 or 3. And so that's why this movie is really good to me, because I like it, because I think I like spy comedies. Spy comedies are fun. And that's why I'm giving this movie a B+. It is not quite an A because there was a lot of side plots that just didn't matter, a lot of characters that just didn't matter. If you're going to make it a Steve Carell and an Anne Hathaway movie, I mean, that's totally fine. But commit to that. If you're going to have a lot of side characters that you think are going to be important, because in the beginning you see a lot of characters, and like half an hour into the movie, they're all gone, and it's just Hathaway and Carell, which is great because I love that part. Those parts of the movies where it's just those two. However, if you're going to introduce a lot of side characters, make them important, because my brain wanted to make sure that I was like, okay, this person's that person, this person's that person, this person's that person, and I think it's important that we don't do that for my brain's sake. So make sure you keep that in mind. Anyway, I just wanted to give a quick little description of that film and what I thought about it. Didn't have to talk too long about it because it wasn't a very deep film. There wasn't a lot to talk about. It's nothing deep. A lot of the younger Steve Carell stuff is not very deep. It's all comedy. Later on, it does get pretty deep and heavy when he starts doing dramas, and I love his dramas, so I'm very excited to watch those and talk to you about them. Coming up, we've got a lot of requests, and they're all being done right now. I think once every other day, I'm watching a requested movie. So make sure you are keeping up with that so you can watch your requests and other people's requests, and keep watching the films with me, because the goal here is to become more media centered and oriented, because I love watching movies, but I watch movies just for fun. But now I've got a reason to watch them, so I watch them for fun because I love watching movies. Watching movies and TV is one of my favorite pastimes. But it shouldn't just be a pastime, because everything that you consume on the media is important. It will affect you in some way. Even minorly, it affects you. You choose what you want to watch on the media. And I think it is very important that we begin to understand what everything will have to impact. Which is why I'm really excited to talk about movies and shows like The Boys and The Punisher, because they're all relevant in the terms of its themes. This isn't relevant, it's just a funny comedy, which is why it's a shorter video. Later on, I will be reviewing stuff like The Punisher, for example. I love The Punisher. Oh my god, it's so good. But anyway, I'm very excited for that review, but that won't be for weeks. Where like the themes are deeper and there's a lot more that goes on. So my goal here is not only educate you about the films, but educate you on what each film means in terms of real life lessons. And in this one, there's not a lot. I mean, it's a pretty simple film, which is why it's a B+. It's not the greatest thing in the world. You don't really learn much. There's not much of a lesson. But it's a funny comedy to watch. I'd watch it at night if I were you. Get a box of popcorn going. Get a bag of popcorn going. And turn on the flicks and watch it. I mean, it's a funny movie. I wouldn't watch it if you were like trying to analyze a film. But it is a funny movie that I watched, and I had a good time. I had a lot of laugh out loud moments. It's always good when you get to a part in a movie where you have to pause it so you can laugh out loud. That's my favorite. I love that. That's like my favorite feeling in the world, is like, that was the funniest thing in the world. Pause, laugh, get over it, rewind sometimes, watch it again. I mean, it's great. Same thing with like visual effects. If something looks like super gross, like when I watch The Boys a lot of gross stuff happens, I just go, oh, and then I rewind it and I watch it again. But again, this movie doesn't have a lot of that. It's pretty straightforward. I think you'll all enjoy it. So make sure you go out and give that a watch. Comment down below if there's anything you want me to review. If you want to talk about the film in any capacity, message me, start a thread on Facebook, put a comment down there, and I will make sure to watch and read all of that for you, because I want to stay involved and I want you to stay involved, and we're going to work together to analyze these films and initiate a good conversation about the media that is surrounding a film and a movie. As always, keep watching films, and I'll see you in the next video.